$5 million, bro, bro, bro. If any job is, if I'm going from $300,000 a year to $5 million a year, I don't think there's too many people who would sit here and say, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here because of my roots and bro."
So we always hear about following the money. And
Yeah,
even with
yeah.
Coach Prime being highly successful and well paid in his past endeavors, money has seemed to find its way into this situation as well. So, Six, how do you think money played a part in Coach Prime's decision to leave Jackson State?
I think it played. I think it played a part. Just knowing who Coach Prime is. I mean, he was going to take. If it wasn't like you said, if it wasn't Colorado, it was going to be somebody else. He was going to always progress his coaching career regardless. Um, I think it played a. I think it played a big part. But before we even get into where he's at now with Colorado, we can talk about the money he put into the University of Jackson State University, because he was taking money out of his own paychecks from his coaching paychecks. What would you say it was half of his paychecks?
Half his paycheck was going to upgrade the facilities at Jackson
Hmm.
State, or to just boost the athletes' experience while they're at Jackson State. That was like paying for meals while they were on the road,
Hmm.
moving them from the campus to hotels when they had that water
Hmm.
crisis. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff he was doing with
And
his money.
not even that. And not even that. He has to pay Jackson State a buyout of his contract that is reportedly to be $300,000 before he can even sign the contract. Well, I'm pretty sure he already done it now because he's been announced as the coach of Colorado. But prior to he even signing the contract to be the coach of Colorado, he had to pay Jackson State University a $300,000 buyout for his contract that he had with them to be able to move to be a bigger head coach because his contract wasn't fulfilled. So
So
if
Colorado paid that probably.
Colorado probably most likely paid that to be able to get him there, but
Yeah.
and his contract was set to expire on December the 15th with Jackson State, which would be another 5 days from now at the end of this week. So
Mhm.
pretty sure Colorado paid that to get him out of there, but I couldn't find it. I don't know if you did, but what was his contract? What was his salary that he's going to be getting paid at Colorado? Did you find that?
So he is set to make, I believe, $5 million at Colorado a year.
5 million a year, okay.
Um,
And
5 million a
from
year. Yeah,
mhm. And for what I know, he wasn't even making $1 million a year playing coaching at Jackson State.
he was making 300,000 a year at Jackson State.
And that's why, and that goes back to say why, because I think he had one more year left on his contract with Jackson
Mhm.
State, which is why he had to pay that $300,000 back because okay, that makes sense now. So 5 million, bro, bro. If any job is, if I'm going from 300,000 a year to 5 million a year, I don't think there's
Mhm.
too many people who would sit here and say, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here because of my roots." And bruh, bruh.
So his contract with Colorado, the package is total of $29.5 million over 5 years. So he'll be making about $5-6 million a year.
Almost, yeah, almost 6 million a year. So yeah, so I don't know anybody out there who's been calling this man a sellout that would stay, that would turn down 5 million a year to keep getting 300,000 a year. I don't know nobody
Yeah,
out there. That's
yeah.
over
And
10 times your money, bro. That's like 15 times the money you making. Who would leave that on the table? Who? Oh,
right.
nobody. I don't think
Yeah.
nobody would.
Yeah, and so I do think that plays a small part of him leaving Jackson State. But I don't think the money is a total, like that part of the money is a total reason why he left Jackson State. I just think he said it when he came into Jackson State, is
Mm-hmm.
that he's going to take a look at Power 5 schools if they come
Mm-hmm.
offering, to see what they, if they come
See what
offer,
they have to
and to
offer.
see what they have to offer, because any coach, the ones that are still in HBCUs, the coaches that coach little league football, if they are taking coaching seriously, they're going to want to get to the highest level possible of the
Mm-hmm.
coaching profession. Now, and that goes for black, white. Latin, whatever the case may be, they're
Mm-hmm.
all going to want to get to the highest level. And so, does he love coaching? He absolutely
Absolutely.
loves coaching. He loves
Absolutely.
having an impact on young men's life and trying to mold them into uh, to be great men, not only football players but great men.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that his opportunity, his first head coaching opportunity at the college ranks, has come from an HBCU. And we
Mm-hmm.
all know that HBCUs, as you mentioned earlier, don't have the same wallet that most PWIs have.
100%.
Now, I'm not gonna say that all HBCUs go through this situation, because there are some that are well off,
Mm-hmm.
but we also know that Coach Prime had a great career professionally,
Mm-hmm.
where he made a decent amount of money, and then he also had a career where he was a analyst or a host
Mm-hmm.
of a TV show on
And on the
Fox
NFL net,
or
or
on the
was it Fox
NFL
or
Network.
NFL Network? Yeah.
It was NFL Network, so
Mm-hmm.
he got paid well from that. So I say all that to say that I don't think like his actual paycheck, like Deion Sanders' paycheck, was the reason for him wanting to leave Jackson State. The ultimate reason he left Jackson State was because, one, he wants to get to the highest level possible
Mm-hmm.
as a coach, but
Mm-hmm.
also he owed it to these other coaches that he brought in to Jackson State that weren't getting paid as much as they were getting when they were head coaches of the NFL.
Right.
He had Mike Zimmer. He had Mike Zimmer as a daggone defensive assistant at Jackson State, not making anywhere near what he made at as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, or being a coach in
Mm-hmm.
the NFL.
Right.
So now he's able to take not only the himself to make $5 million, but all the other coaches that he has with him can get a boost in salary as well. He has all these
Mm-hmm.
other resources that he has to his, has at his fingertips to
Mm-hmm.
pull in recruits to come to Colorado. So I say all that to say I don't think it was solely his paycheck that was the reason for him leaving Jackson State, but money did play a big part in him wanting to leave or
And
leaving
I
Jackson State.
and I agree with you. It does have a lot more to do with the money because, like you said, the resources, helping other people, helping his coaching staff, that has a lot to do with it. But I'm gonna put it in the context like this because I'm still kind of hurt by the sellout term. And like you said, I'm hurt by people
Mm-hmm.
calling him a sellout
Right.
because I'm gonna do it like this because it was a few episodes back where you put it into perspective for me as far as bread, right? So if say for and just to take it out of the standpoint of coaching and athletics, right? Any of us would be a sellout, quote unquote, right? If I'm working at Cricket Mobile, right, making
Mm-hmm.
50,000 a year, but
Mm-hmm.
then somebody, an executive at Apple, comes in and sees me working at Cricket Mobile, going hard and selling these plans and getting people to leave AT&T to come to Cricket because just being the salesperson that I am, and somebody from Apple comes in and says, "Okay, cool. How much you make it here? 550,000. Okay, what if I gave you 300,000 to come work at Apple?"
Mm-hmm.
You think anybody who's calling Dion a sellout would not take that job? If you're going from 50K to 300K in your salary per year, anybody would take that job. So
I mean,
we
you
so
can
we
go
so
even.
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say you can even take it another step and not only talk about salary, talk about the living conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you rather be, Jackson, Mississippi, or Boulder, Colorado?
Honestly, I probably would much rather be in Jackson, but that's just me because I've been in Jackson before.
Why?
Number one, there is, I mean, okay,
The heat, the warmth.
yes, yes, that's
Okay,
just my
okay.
personal
Other than
preference.
that,
But
okay.
yes,
Other
but
than that,
I agree with you. I would much rather, in opposed to being in the impoverished town of Jackson, I would much rather be in Boulder. Yes,
and so
one
that's
hundred
what I'm
percent.
saying. As far the overall living conditions
Living conditions
of Jackson, of Mississippi in general,
in
really,
general,
because we
very
talked
true.
about Mississippi, we
When
talked
we're talking
about
about Brett
Mississippi,
Favre,
we talked about Brett Favre, right, and how
hmm
the black community is. We're,
I mean, Mississippi
it's
itself
a
is
clear difference.
one of the poorest states in the country.
Poorest, yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying?
So
So yes, one
yeah,
hundred percent. So I
Yeah,
would much
I'm
rather
sorry, I
be
didn't
in
mean to cut
Boulder.
you off.
No, you good. I would much rather be in Boulder as well, just with the living conditions and things of that nature too. Than I would much rather be in Jackson. So if you have more, resources, more money, and better surroundings, most people would take that. Most
Mhm.
people would take that. I mean, you do have some people who have pride and they be like, "Well, I'm staying in the community," but it's just like Uncle Elroy next Friday, bro. I got that check. I was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like these people say I love the hood and I never leave the hood. Yeah, you right, but I got that check and I was gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
right, exactly.
a lot of people are like that. The majority of people are like that. No, I
Mhm.
don't know a single person, including you. I think you would too. I don't know a single person in my circles that wouldn't take a pay raise for with better facilities and better resources and better surroundings over what they currently have right now. I don't know a single person.
100%.
I don't
Because
know a single
it's
person.
all about growth.
It's all about growth.
All about growth.
I was just about to say that. It's all
And
about growth,
if
man.
you're not growing, yeah, if you're not growing, then what are you doing? If you're not trying to grow, because some people grow just because they fall into situations,
Mm-hmm.
and then other people actually try to grow, and then for whatever reason, opportunities don't present themselves. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're not trying to grow, then what are you really doing with your life? If you aren't taking advantage of the opportunities that you've given, and doing everything you can to maximize those opportunities, then you're not living life right, because
100%.
everybody should take the opportunities that they are given and maximize those opportunities. And clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, Deion Sanders did that at Jackson State. And to get back to the money aspect of it, not only was he given half of his check to update the facilities for the athletes, it was also written that he helped like portions of the regular students' life experience at Jackson State, with half of his check being given to the school. And then the big elephant in the room, as far as that has come out in the last couple of days, I don't know if it's true or not. Can't get any true confirmation on it. Is that Jackson State actually was like finagling the books so they wouldn't have to give him all the money that they were required to give him for selling
Hmm.
out games. So they were saying
Really?
that, yeah, so they were in his contract. It says if Jackson State sells over $30,000 worth of tickets at the gates, then he would be able to receive 10% of
Hmm.
whatever the outcome was for the game. And so in the clip that we talked about a while ago when we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about Coach Prime when he was on EYL, if you
Mm-hmm.
recall, you remember he said, and they may not like it, but I'm honest. And he said, we got some people that are stealing money from the school. How you gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell me that we sold out the game, but then I go look at the receipts for the books and it's only $28,000? Somebody messing with my money, taking money out my pocket. That's what
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about. He was talking about
Okay. Okay.
if the
Okay.
if the games have been sold out, then it's no way that we only sold $28,000 worth of tickets. It's way more than that, and so that's money that should be coming in my pocket. So on one end, you have him saying that, or one end you have him giving money to the school to help with facilities all around, not just for his athletes, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's also supposed to get money to come back to him. He's not
Mm-hmm.
getting that.
And they
And
getting
again,
that.
he's not getting that. And I cannot truly confirm that, but it's
Mm-hmm.
been thrown around quite a bit as far as
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State finagling the books, whoever it may be,
Mm.
and him not getting the money that he was supposed to get for selling out those games. And it's an aspect of HBCUs that we don't like to talk about, but it is something that comes up quite often. Is
Right.
things ain't quite right sometimes when it comes to people stealing out of the
Mm.
financial aid office, whatever the case may be, and money just ain't right in certain areas of
I mean, it
HBCUs.
happened. It happened recently. No, well, I won't say recently. Probably about 5 years ago, where somebody was stealing money at NCCU through the
Hmm.
admissions. You know what I'm saying? It came out
Yeah,
recently. Probably about like, well, I keep saying recently, but recent is 5 years to me. It's kind of recent, but it's about five
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. Somebody from NCCU was
Right.
stealing money, and it happens. It happens more than people know. It's just not reported as much.
Hmm.
And
Right.
just like you said, Dion, you can tell that somebody is messing with the books, but it's not reported as much as people would like to think it would be. So, and that's something I didn't. I mean, I heard him say that, but I didn't know he was talking about them ticket sales and how he was supposed to get money off of that. Because there's no way if you're selling out, if the tickets is $30 and you got, what I'm saying, 100,000 people in the stands, which I don't think Jackson State hosts that many, but that's got to be
Nah,
way more than
60,000.
60,000. So exactly.
Yeah,
So come on, bro. You know
right.
that that's going to be way more than 28 grand coming into
Even
the
if tickets
books.
was $5 a
Even if tickets
person,
was
it would
$5
be
a
more than.
person, that's come on,
And
bro.
we know that's
Like
not the case.
not
And
the
we know
case.
that's not the case.
Not the case. Because
So
at Central, them joints was what you had to pay $20 to get into, at least to get into man. Come
exactly.
on, bro. Come on, bro. So we
So
already
and
know.
and Jackson State's average attendance for this year was 45,000 and something. So even if they gave away, let's say 10,000 tickets, you do the math. $20 times 35,000 is well over 30,000.
Nigga. For,
Exactly.
if they sold every ticket 45K. Well, I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna go back. Let me clear that. 35,000 people times $20.
Hmm.
Seven
Well
hundred
over
thousand dollars.
30,000.
Well,
Yeah,
700,000 in ticket
what
sales.
are we talking about? Yeah, what are we talking about
And he's
here?
supposed to get 10% of that. That's 70K that he's not getting in his pocket. And he only making 300,000, which half of that is going back to the university.
Hello.
Come on, bro. So come on,
Hello.
bro. So, but he didn't make a big spiel about it because it didn't matter to him. It didn't matter to
Exactly.
him.
That's what. Yes,
It didn't
exactly.
matter to him
You
because he
don't
wanted to
hear him.
pour
You
back
never heard.
into. Exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, go ahead. You finish yours.
Like
My
I say,
fault.
you like you said, he wanted to pour back into the university and set a standard for how a HBCU should be ran and try to bring more awareness to the imbalance between PWIs and HBCUs. He didn't care that they was messing with the books because
Hmm.
if you hold 45,000 people and then every ticket is 30,000 and you only got, bro, that means 1,000 people are coming to the games. That's not true.
Hello.
If
Right.
their average attendance was what you say 45,000 people was their average
Their average
attendance.
attendance was 45,000, like 353.
But you mean to tell me that we only getting ticket sales for 1,000 people? Come on now, come on
Something's
now.
not right.
So something ain't
Yeah.
right, and that's 70K out of his pocket. But he don't give it. He didn't give a damn. He just
And
like
these
D'Lo
aren't.
alluded to. He made money in his career. He made money as an analyst. He's probably got major crazy investments that's putting money in his pocket. So he didn't care about the money coming from JSU. He wanted to make sure that the university was taken care of. But just to kind of go back behind that, that's kind of crazy, bro.
It's crazy, right? And
Yeah.
especially for him to not say anything publicly other than,
Mm-hmm.
alluding to it on the EYL Earn Your Leisure podcast
Mm-hmm.
in
Shout out to them.
September. But 100%, that we rock with them
Ride
all
with
the
them
way.
heavy.
Yeah, but for him not to, publicly say anything this whole time, his whole 3 years at Jackson State, and it finally comes out as he's leaving because of the backlash he's been getting, it says
Mm-hmm.
a lot about him as a person and his character, honestly.
100%. I
Because
agree with
you
you.
you also don't hear about, you also never heard about this until he left, is him paying for, half his paycheck going to those facilities, half his paycheck going to help feed the team, half his paycheck going to upgrade, well, I already say upgraded facility, but him using his connections as well to
Mm-hmm.
get them a field turf practice field.
And helping the
You,
kids,
you,
helping the
you
players live in situations and stuff like that. Yeah, man.
Exactly. So it says a lot about his character, man. And so, we always say follow the money, and the money usually tells the story, and it usually gets you to where you need to be to find out the full extent of the story.
100%, man. 100%, man. And I mean, as far as my final take on it, my final wisdom on it, did he follow the money? Yes, but not for the reasons that a lot of people are thinking. And I always say, I'm glad we had these conversations because it gives me a different perspective coming from you. Is that he didn't follow it for a paycheck. He followed it for different resources and different amenities. You know what I'm saying? And he's
Hmm.
going to be able, he's going to use, I believe, and this is just my personal opinion. I believe that Coach Prime is going to use these resources and these amenities to continue to help HBCUs. I don't think he's just going to stop because he went to Colorado. I think he's
Hmm.
going to make an example with Colorado. Honestly, he's going to give more money to the HBCUs whenever they play them in these early season games. He's going to, kind of he's going to keep the blueprint rolling and kind of give the HBCUs a better outlook on what how a program should be ran. So yes, did he get a bigger paycheck? Yes, but that's not why he left. He left because he wanted to progress in his career, not because he got $5 million a year in opposed to 300,000. But if
It
you want to call
helps.
it helps 100%. But if you want to call him a
Right.
sellout, you would have sold out too. You would have sold out too.
100%.
All of us would have sold out. So
Absolutely.
stop acting like you wouldn't have sold out for $5 million over 300K. Stop acting like that. So yeah, but
Absolutely.
that's my final second. What
Yeah.
you think?
I mean, I can't say anything else. Honestly, what you said is what I would have said had I said it first. I just feel like the money aspect of it, people are trying to make it seem as if that is the main reason that he left, and I don't
Right.
like you just said, and like I said to start out the segment, I don't feel like that is the reason. He left you breadcrumbs the whole time that he was at Jackson State of what his intentions were
100%.
to elevate Jackson State and HBCUs as much as he could while he was there. And if opportunity presented itself from a Power Five school, he was going to take it. Is it unfortunate that he left Jackson State how he left it? As far as leaving when he did, some can argue that, but any person, as Sticks just said, would have left to get the resources that he now has access to have the potential to reward his coaches that have been with him for quite some time, because he does have coaches on his staff that have been with him since he was at Prime University or Prime Academy, whatever it was in Texas, that have been with him the whole time. He does have the opportunity now to entrench his family even more into his day-to-day life and his coaching trajectory, as he has with his oldest son Dion Jr., his oldest daughter Deandra, and obviously he's taking Shador and Shiloh. Well, we don't know if he's taking Shiloh with him or not, but we know he's taking Shador with him. So I would say stop trying to mask or paint Dion as the sellout that everybody wants to paint him, and just appreciate what he did for HBCUs while he was there, and hope that he does not fail at Colorado, because if he does fail at Colorado, then that just continues to say that black coaches can't get the job done, when we know that's not the case.
We know that's not the case. We definitely pray that he succeeds, and that's going to open doors for people in the future to be able to get more jobs and PWIs and possibly NFL jobs. We talked about that last week too. So I mean, he's trailblazing right now. So let him blaze this trail and open up these doors for more people in the future. So that way we can have better situations moving forward, man. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. And as we say, every segment, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let us know what your thoughts are on Coach Prime leaving Jackson State, taking a Colorado job. Do you think he's a sellout, or don't you think he's a sellout? Do you think this was a good move for him, or do you not think this was a good move for him? We're interested to hear your take, and we'll be replying back to as many as we can.
35,000 people times $20.
Well over 30,000.
Well, 700,000 in ticket sales, and he's supposed to get 10% of that. That's $70K that he's not getting in his pocket, and he only making 300,000, which half of that is going back to the university.
Hello.